serious stuff now. We're going to talk serious stuff. I want to talk to you about. Well, let's put it like this. I watch these shows on YouTube about people that want to come to the Philippines, and they're going to do this and that and the other thing. Okay? First of all, let's clear this up. It's going to take you between 2 and 4 years to even understand what it's like living here, even if someone takes you to the side and explains to you what it's like living here, you're not going to believe what it's like living in the Philippines. You're going to just say, that it's not going to happen to me. Those things are not going to happen to me. And they are going to happen to you. You are going to be overwhelmed with, shall we say, the level of 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 I have to think of. You're going to be underwhelmed, as Steve Montelli says. Welcome to the Philippines. Prepared to be underwhelmed. Hey, project manager. Hello. Thanks for stopping by. So you're a pretty good researcher, project manager. I think I'll keep you on board. So, as Steve Montelli says, prepared to be underwhelmed. And now, why does he say that? Well, I'm going to give you a couple of reasons today why Steve Montelli said that. And yet, when I first heard that, I'm going, what is this guy talking about? You know, underwhelmed. And but if you take those words in their exact context, and by definition, he's 100% accurate in his explanation of the Philippines. Now, I'm just going to talk mainly in the beginning. Hello, Dennis Adam. Welcome. Thanks for stopping by. I'm going to talk mainly, and thank you for helping me with my trolls. Actually, Dennis, if you'll notice, because of you and Jack and a few others, the trolls have subsided. And plus the fact that no matter what they've said in the past, they see that it's not true, and I'm taking away their legs, that so to speak. For instance, we had one troll say that the girls couldn't stand me, the pretty girls that are in the thumbnail, they couldn't stand me. They couldn't wait to get away, and yet we talked for 2 hours after the show, and then they're coming. They're coming again next week to my house, and then they cut my hair. So those are the kind of things that we're taking away from the trolls on a daily basis. And Jolly Bayashko, thank you for stopping by. Mayan Buntag Pud. And we're taking away their legs, the trolls' legs. And you notice there's less and less every day. So when Steve Montelli says prepare to be underwhelmed, he's serious. He's really serious. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples. We're going to go backwards in time from yesterday at 5 o'clock, where this is the most obscure conversation between any American or foreigner that you'll ever hear on the internet in yesterday's live stream and the live stream before that in regards to the Lazada order of my rebar bender. So first we'll address the trolls saying that I'm never going to build a hotel. Then we'll address Jack Thompson, who is a builder, who actually is a licensed contractor slash engineer slash builder, and can build, I don't know, I think it was up to 3 stories and 120 units. That's his license. That's what his license allows him to do. And he is my personal friend, and I'm a licensed contractor for most of my entire life since I was 20 years old. So I know what I need to do to build a hotel, and I know what I'm doing is in preparation to build a hotel. So the trolls saying I'm never going to build a hotel, or that fool that keeps saying it takes me 2 days to paint a piece of plywood, that fool isn't a pimple on Jack Thompson's buttocks when it comes to contractual knowledge. Ken Stott. Okay, Ken, I don't really know who you are, and you're not you're not like a regular member. I'll acknowledge your comment, but you're not a member of my personal inner circle. So I wish for you to just limit your participation until the end when I ask questions, or just understand that you asked me a question that made no sense yesterday, and I am a lot smarter than you could possibly comprehend. And you asked me a question, do I lease the property or do I own the property? If you think that I miss something in the translation, and then I said, I'm not going to answer that because the question has been asked and answered 1,000 times. And then you confirmed that you lived in the Philippines for 7 years. And you're asking me a question that you should know the answer to and have known the answer to for 7 years. You are just coming on so that you can get some FaceTime on my channel. I understand that. But let's just limit it to minimal stuff, and I probably won't acknowledge your questions. Because if you live in the Philippines for 7 years, the answer to your question is foreigners can't own land in the Philippines. You already should know that answer if you live here for 7 years. Why did you ask me that question? So that you could get FaceTime on my channel? We're going to negate any of your future responses, questions, or comments from now on, because you did that just to get FaceTime on my channel. Okay? Now, you're welcome to stay here, and you're welcome to ask other people, but I probably won't acknowledge your questions. You're not a member of my Patreon account, so I don't know who you are. You could be a troll, an actual troll. You're not a member of my Super Chat community, so your questions should come and go without me acknowledging them at all. That's what Super Chat is for. And number 3, you're not my personal friend. I don't have your telephone number. I've never met you. I didn't grow up with you. And we're going to end the Ken Star. You're welcome to leave comments. Ask somebody else the questions. I probably won't acknowledge your questions from now on. And I'm not just singling you out. I'm telling anybody and everybody that watches my videos, if you're not a member of those 3 communities that I spoke about, PayPal, Super Chat, and or Patreon, or my personal friend, there's no reason for me to acknowledge your comments. I have other things to do. I am not here for your benefit. I am here because I want to share information about the Philippines. So limit your conversation to somebody else, or just watch and learn and listen and learn. Digressing back. And then you break my concentration with your questions, and I don't like that. I'm going to tell you that right now. So, digressing back, if you're a beta male and you're coming to the Philippines and you expect to do business in the Philippines as a beta male, forget that. Steve Vontelli, when he said prepare to be underwhelmed, it's because you're not going to be able to comprehend the lack of business ethics and the lack of moral ethics when you're doing business here in the Philippines. You're just not going to be able to say to yourself, what is it with these people? Now, I'll give you some examples, but this Lazada fiasco that I'm going through, there is no person in this entire, hey, good morning, Flying Circus, Mayan Buntag, or Mayan evening, Mayan Gabi to you, Flying Circus. Thanks for stopping by. So, now Flying Circus, although he's a new person on my channel, to some people, I've known Flying Circus for years. So, and that's why I trust him and he trusts me, and he got a wrench. So, the people I'm doing business with, we'll start off with Lazada. The man and woman for who are, we'll call them the shippers. Okay, first of all, if I had to give them, and I'm going to start doing this as a regular basis, if I had to guess what their IQ was, I'm going to give everybody the benefit of the doubt at a 65. Because when I say give everybody the benefit of the doubt at a 65 IQ, listen to yesterday's conversation and you'll understand in the last 2.5 hours of my live stream why I'm giving everybody a 65. And they believe that that's a compliment because they don't know what IQ is. So, and they understand that 65 is like a borderline passing grade. But in reality, it's not that at all. But they say thank you for a 65 IQ. And we'll start them off at a 65, and we'll go up or down depending on their ability of cognizant reasoning and or comprehensive listening or comprehensive replies. They have none of that. Okay, so the shippers. The company Lazada, to get a job with Lazada, you have to go through a training process. Now, I'm going to tell you something. The training process of the two operators that I spoke with on Lazada is pretty damn good. They listen to my words without interrupting me while I'm speaking. Because if I was teaching a course in college, or if I was teaching somebody something and you interrupted me, I would already have explained the rules to you. And if you did it twice, I'd ask you to leave. I'm not going to be interrupted, especially by trolls. So that's why I have no tolerance for trolls and no tolerance for people who I don't know who you are. Because as far as I'm concerned, whatever you say is either trolling me or it could be your real opinion, but I'm not interested in your opinion. I don't need your opinion to formulate my opinion. My opinion is based on higher mathematics, so to speak. I have been doing this with these people on a business level for 3.5 years. They have no ethics. They have no moral turpitude when it comes to business. And they have no formal training when it comes to how to do business in a morally ethical environment. They just say whatever is necessary to get the job done, and that means for their benefit. Andrew, welcome to the machine. All the customer support mumbles and say a lot about nothing. That's pretty close to the truth. So here we are, and that it's because the customer support didn't follow up properly with what he said he was going to do. But he listened. He understood what I said. The Lazada, the man I spoke with before I did the live stream yesterday, Raphael, he listened. This is what I mean. Their training is pretty good, but they don't follow up with what they said they were going to do. So basically, they're giving you the old yes, sir. Okay, yes, sir. Yeah, and what does yes, sir mean in the Philippines? It means, yes, I heard you, but your words mean nothing to me. The only thing that means anything to me is that you give me money. And I take your money and I earn money. And if for some reason, by you giving me money, you don't get the service that you believed you were supposed to get, that's your fault. That's no one else's fault. That's right, Flying Circus. It's lip service. Yes, sir, I heard your words, but I'm not going to follow up in the correct fashion that I should follow up with. So because Raphael from Lazada gave me lip service, as Flying Circus said, I spent 2.5 hours of the most aggravating and unbelievable phone call on yesterday's live stream that anybody will ever hear on the internet. My one regret is I don't have a speakerphone, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Hey, Johnny, how you doing? Thanks for stopping by. Now, he's a friend of mine for sure. And I missed a comment. So let me get to my comments. I missed one comment. I don't know if it was troll like or not. I'm going to go there now. And if I see, I'm telling you now, trolls are not going to be dealt with anymore at all in any way, shape, or form. If you can't figure out that I'm actually going to build a hotel and that I'm working towards that goal, and you mention anything in the negative on my channel, I'm just going to discontinue your ability to chat on my channel. I had a guy last week that said he's not a troll. He's not a troll. And he had five more.
That said he's not a troll.
He's not a troll. And he had 5 more fake accounts that he posted the same comment on. Okay. Thank you, Dennis Adam. Okay, so, well, he has. Yeah, well, he's about ready to get canned, Dennis. So if he does come on and troll me, and you have the urge, push the button. Don't worry about Ken Starr. I don't care about Ken Starr. Thank you, Dennis. So Raphael, I call. Okay, so now, and there's another thing. Lazada customer service does not in any way, shape, or form communicate with Lazada order tracking services. Lazada order tracking services and customer service services do not in any way communicate with what they call the seller center. They don't communicate with the seller center. Lazada customer service tracking does not communicate with seller service, customer service, or Lazada tracking. There's 3 different ways to track an item on Lazada. None of them say the same thing, even in the same 24-hour period. The seller gets messages from seller center. The seller gets messages from the seller center, which doesn't send me an email saying that they canceled the order, but they send it to the seller that said the order was canceled. But there's no communication as to what that means. What if I told you your order was canceled, and I was a department in Lazada called the seller center, and the seller gets an email saying that his order was canceled? That would mean that the order was canceled, and I'm going to get a refund of my money for 193,331 pesos. But that's not what it means. What it means is that the seller center and their job description of going to pick up the package twice because the seller gave them the wrong information to pick up the package twice, and the seller requested the wrong truck twice. The seller center gave up on the order because they've spent time and money sending the wrong pickup vehicle to the seller. The seller, of course, he did that on purpose so he could cut out Lazada's profit margin. We know that. There's no doubt in my mind. He's not going to admit to it. I couldn't get him to admit to it on the phone, but I know what he's doing. So the seller center did not notify customer service that they gave up. Customer service was not notified that there will be no more pickups to the seller, and eventually the clock will run out on my order and they'll refund my money. But as of yesterday, when the seller center sent the message to the shipper, we are canceling the order, the shipper thought the order was canceled. That was 2 hours of conversation on the phone with the customer service, and they had all the notes from Raphael in the morning and all the notes from the day before. And Raphael, the one thing that he did, Raphael, was he said, do not cancel the credit card money from Michael Fazio. But he never followed up with the seller service to tell them don't cancel the pickup, because he's an idiot. He should know that if the time limit expires, or what was on the website for tracking the order was that your order has been canceled. I explained it to Raphael. It says your order has been canceled. But the idiot of an IQ of 65, Raphael, did not know that the seller center canceled the order and not Lazada. And he assured me that the order wasn't canceled, but only from the perspective of Lazada and the debit card. He did not even know to look in the seller center notes. He did not get an update through internal memos that the order was canceled. He did not know to look that the order was canceled through the seller center. I didn't know about the seller center. And the operator that I spoke with last night at 3 o'clock, Jan, Jan, she did not know the seller center canceled the order, because on Jan's computer last night at 3 o'clock, she said the order was confirmed and waiting for the item to be shipped. And she couldn't find any other information on her database. And I said to her, but I have an email from the shipper that says the order is canceled. And Jan said to me, can you read it to me? And I said, of course. So I went to the email and I read the email. It says, unfortunately, we are canceling your order because your order has either taken too long to process or your order has been shipped. That's what the seller center said. It's not even the truth. The truth is the idiot with an IQ of 65, who was the shipper named Mark, and his partner, Rochelle, who also has an IQ of 65, at best, ordered the wrong truck. Now, who ordered the wrong truck? Mark doesn't know, but he's the partner of Rochelle. Rochelle spoke to Raphael at 8:15 yesterday morning, and Rochelle said, yes, Raphael, I ordered a truck for a pickup for a package under 80 kilograms. But Rochelle has the bill of lading from China on her desk that the order weighs 225 kilos plus the pallet. So she ordered the wrong truck. Now, she did that on purpose to let the time run out and have my order canceled so that they could sell it privately. But I will not give up the order. But so Rochelle ordered the wrong truck for an order under 80 kilos. And she said motorcycle came, but it's probably a tricycle, because they have tricycles, motorcycles, and vans, pickups, and then boom trucks that Lazada sends out. So she ordered a package under 80 kilos to be picked up. She knew it was the wrong number, and she did it anyway. I went to customer service. Customer service says, we'll talk to her. Customer service called up and said, no, you have to order a truck. This is the 20th, she ordered the wrong truck, and she waited 6 full days before she ordered the wrong truck. And again, to kill the time, to expire the sale so they could sell it after Lazada put the item up as advertised on their website. They got all the information from the people that were interested in the machine, and Lazada, then they decided they got the information. They can contact now 1 or 2 or 3 people that want the machine, sell it on the side, and collect an additional 28,000 pesos is what they wanted in order to fulfill their obligation. Lazada said, no, you're going to sell it to us for 185.9 plus 7,500 pesos for shipping. They got pissed off, and they waited 6 days to make a pickup. Then they made the wrong pickup for a package under 80 kilos. And on the 20th, Lazada said, no, sir, you have to order a truck for 265 kilos. That's what I told them it was. And they ordered a truck, a van, that they couldn't get the pallet in. And then they claimed that it's a bulky item. Well, it's in your damn warehouse. You're a shipper, and yet they say they feign ignorance. And they are ignorant. So they're not feigning ignorance. They're ignorant for making me the brunt of their ignorant joke. They're ignorant because they don't know how to do business. They're ignorant to believe that I'm going to believe their ignorance is valid. And they're ignorant for doing what they do, because now I'm going to cause them a lot more problems with Lazada. Maybe I'm going to ask Lazada, just don't do business with them in the future. And I've already spoken with a representative that's pretty sure that they're going to get this issue cleared up and that it's not going to happen again, but that means nothing. The word of a Lazada customer service agent means basically nothing, because now I have 5 different customer service agents and no one's cleared up the issue because it's all lip service. However, I have a YouTube channel and I can give a description with names, dates, telephone numbers, and addresses because it's true. I have all the documentation of what they said. The shipper said, on the 14th, when the item was paid for, sir, we have a problem. What is the problem, I have to ask? Because they say, sir, we have a problem. Well, what is the problem? Sir, the item is very heavy. What is that supposed to mean? You're the shipper. And that's a lie. It's an outright blatant lie, because it doesn't matter how heavy the item is. The shipper is not responsible to put it on the truck. The shipper is responsible for 2 copies of the bill of lading with the weight on it. So she knew what the weight was. She just said it's very heavy. So she's an idiot, and we're going to take 9 points off. We're going to give her a 56 instead of a 65 IQ. And she only goes down from there, and eventually, by the end of the conversation last night, she had an IQ of 37. She's an idiot, and she's a liar. Liars get IQ points shaved off their IQ. You know, what I give them the IQ. I can do whatever I want. So she's an idiot. So she says it's very heavy. So, and then the next thing is, I said, well, on the phone, when are you going to get this thing shipped? Sir, we are thinking what to do. Well, there isn't anything to do, you moron. That's less than 56. That's a 47 IQ. Moron is 47. There isn't anything to do, you moron, because she's lying. She is not responsible to put it on the truck. She calls up Lazada and says, we have a package for 265 kilos. We need a truck. Lazada is confirmed from Raphael and Jan. They have boom trucks. They send the boom truck out to the shipper's address. The boom truck picks the item up, puts it on the truck, and takes it away. So she's lying that she can't pick it up. She's lying that she doesn't have a scale because she's a shipper. And she's lying that she doesn't know the weight, because it's when something gets shipped through customs, it has a weight and a package dimension on it. Now, the package dimension didn't change and the weight didn't change from China. So she's lying. They're lying so that what they did, now I'll tell you what they did. In synopsis, the shipper put the item on Lazada so it would be advertised in Asia, all of Asia. Then you chat with the shipper and you give them your telephone number and your email address, and they get that information off the Lazada chat window. Lazada can see the chat also, and then they call you up privately and ask you to cancel your order with Lazada, and they'll ship it directly to you, thus removing Lazada's profit margin, which they're entitled to for advertising your product. This is the second time they did that. But the, but I did acquiesce the first time, and I canceled the order, and then within an hour they sold the machine. I did not acquiesce the second time, and that now they can't sell the machine without breaking their contract with Lazada. And Lazada's pissed off because once I explained to them that they did this yesterday, they were like on the fence. But then I said to them, you go back to the order, the machine they had on August 27th, and you'll see I was going to buy that machine. And they asked me to cancel the contract. And I did, and then they sold the machine privately. And when she went back there, she seemed upset because it's cutting profit from her company. And supposedly she's supposed to be on the side of her company. If she did anything else, I could report her for a bad employee. I can't because she sounded truly pissed off that they did that. And they did do that. But it wasn't until she went back and looked at August 27th's order that I made for the same machine, the same weight, 265 kilos, the same 2-in-1 rebar bender. And when she saw that it was sold to me, and then I canceled the order because they asked me to cancel the order, and they'd sell it to me privately, I didn't know what was going on. That was the first time I ever ordered anything from Lazada. And they told me back then, again, that Lazada can't pick the machine up, and I believed them. So I canceled the order and said I'm going to come to Manila. But if you remember, travel restrictions were harsh then. I would have had to get an S-Pass and a doctor's note. And I was going to do that, but it was going to take 4 days. So on Thursday, I canceled the order. I made reservations temporarily. I had the website open to buy the ticket. I called back a few hours later. The item was sold. So they're doing this on purpose. Now, do they care? No. But I made it so clear that I believe you're trying to back out of the deal so that you can charge me an additional 28,000 pesos, because that's what Mark said. Mark said, sir, on the 14th of October, sir, if you will do me a favor. I said, what's the favor, Mark? Will you please cancel the order? And I said, for what reason? Because I did this last time, remember? And he said, because we made a mistake in the shipping. I said, well, what is the mistake? He says, well, the shipping should be 28,000 pesos. Now, I'm thinking 28,000 pesos total. But Lazada already has 7.5. So for all I know, he was charging me an additional 28,000 pesos. And I said, no, I won't do that. It was a conversation I had on YouTube. No, I will not cancel the order. Sir, but we will have problems to get you the item. I says, no, Lazada has an agreement to ship me that item for 185, 9,000 pesos and 7.5 for the shipping. Sir, but we won't be able to fulfill the order. I says, I'm not interested in all your nonsense. I'm not deleting the order. He would have asked me to delete the order immediately and then rebuy it, and he was going to adjust the price, either adding 28,000 pesos or $560 or to the order, or a total of $750 for shipping. He was just going to rape me, and I'm not going to have that. So this is what you're going to get when you do business. Now, I said Lazada customer service never got a notice from the seller center, which is a different department. The seller center never confirmed properly what size the order was, what size the pickup was, because they took the shipper's word that it was a package less than 80 kilos, or they could use a van twice. Twice the shipper asked for the wrong truck. So the shipper's doing this on purpose. They're shippers, right? They're shippers. They should be doing what these people will screw you to death if you don't stay on top of the situation. So now I have 500 phone calls to the shipper. They've answered the phone approximately 8 or 9 times. When I was saying to the shipper, you have to fulfill your obligation, you have to ship this product, no response for 4 or 5 emails in a row over the course of from October 14th to October 19th. On October 19th, I said, look, I'm going to tell Lazada that you're doing bad business. You have to ship these items out. That was the first response in 5 days. Because I said I'm going to ask Lazada to not do business with your company. And that's how they do business, by putting it through Lazada and pulling it off Lazada's. They have no ethics, no business. They should just say, this machine is 185,000 pesos plus 28,000 pesos, or this machine is 200,000 pesos with shipping. They shouldn't advertise the machine at 185.9 plus 7.5 and then change the price. That's bad business. And that's what the shipper is doing. And that's because of the ignorance of Lazada. That's what's going on. Now, that's not the only problem here in the Philippines, but that's just one that you'll run into. So I think I've spent 36 minutes on that. That's enough time. Let's go to the next problem that you're going to have. When the item comes to your house, I have gotten notes that I was not home, with the door open, me at the computer, and the fence 3 feet from where I'm sitting. The note says, we have come to your residence to deliver this package, and the package was not deliverable. We will come back again. Flywoods said this, Flywoods said he saw it on camera. They stopped by, they looked around, they left a note on the gate. They didn't knock, they didn't call, they didn't try to get into the house to knock on the door in any way. They just looked around like this in the yard. No one was in the yard, and they walked away. That assures the drivers are in on a scam too, because that assures the driver another run back and forth to the house. But it screws up the customer that they have to stay home on a different day. This is the way of life in the Philippines. It's me, 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 and screw you too. This is the method of operation of doing business in the Philippines. They are trying to expire the shipping deadline for the money, but at least customer service stopped that part of it. So now I have to call up Seller Center, and I have to tell them the case number, and I have to order the truck to confirm what size truck they need. How is this my responsibility? It's my responsibility because if Seller Center calls up that idiot, Rochelle, the 47 IQ, she's going to do it again. And they're going to get more upset, and they're going to cancel the order again. So now I'm responsible to do the Seller Center job. And that's something that I'm going to do in a minute. Now, I wish I had a speakerphone. You want to see how ignorant these people are? We talked to a 65 from Thinking Tools yesterday, and I'll put the name out there. Claire, Clair. Claire is a 65, but not really, because by the time I'm done with Claire's updates, she'll be down to at best, she's going down to a 42. So, IQ, 42. Claire at Thinking Tools. You send this to Thinking Tools. The thing that pisses me off is that I don't have a speakerphone. Now, I don't know if I'm allowed to put it on speakerphone or not, so it doesn't upset me that much, but I call up Thinking Tools because I want a hands-free speakerphone. So I call up Thinking Tools. They answered. My name is Michael FAZIO. Most of them know me there. What I'm looking for is a desktop telephone with a speakerphone so I don't have to hold the phone in my hand. Her reply, she started out at a 65, right? It's going straight down from there. It's almost like off a cliff. She goes, sir, you wish to buy 2 speakers? Did I say the number 2 in the conversation? I'll bet $1 million I didn't. Did I say I want to buy 2 speakers? I'll bet $1 million I didn't. She's an idiot. So she went from a 65 to a 47. But it doesn't stop there. I said no. And finally I got what I wanted across. Oh, you want a phone with a speaker in the phone so you can hear it? Yes. Sir, I will have to call up Cebu. Why? Call them now. So we cannot just call up our Cebu branch. We have to talk to the manager. Okay, we'll do that. No, sir, I'll call you back. And she did. She texted me back. But why can't she call up Cebu on another phone? Put me on hold. Well, I don't know that they even have a hold button in their store. Because whenever they put you on hold, they put the phone on the desk. And you can hear all the background noise. So a store that sells computers, laptops, iPads, and phones doesn't have a hold button on the phone. So I want to buy a phone with a hold button on it. I can't find one on Shopee, and I can't find one. I didn't look on Lazada yet, but I can't find one. Because everybody uses cell phones now. But there's no call waiting or call holding on cell phones. This country is backwards when it comes to business. So you're on the phone for somebody within an hour and you have to make a phone call. You have to close down the call somebody else, and then call them back. How stupid is this that they don't have a phone with a hold button on it? I don't know. I mean, it's about as dumb as it gets. So Claire did send me a text message saying that, sir, Thinking Tools, which is one of the biggest suppliers of computers and phones, cell phones, iPads and the such, in the Philippines, one of the biggest suppliers, they don't have desktop phones. How do you do business if you have an office? Hold on. We have information coming in, perhaps. Let's see. And then I'm going to talk to you about 1 or 2 more things. And then, okay, wait a second. Okay, yeah, we have, I can't tell you what this is about, but, okay, so it's about it's about a very small man. So, why couldn't she just ask the manager of the store? I'm on the phone with Michael FAZIO. He's a good customer. The manager knows me, Grace. Please call up or find out. Look on your computer inventory. No. They have to call Cebu, and then Cebu has to call Manila. They don't have an inventory on a computer whether or not they have desktop phones. Well, they don't. They don't. So let's talk about another subject, and then I'm going to call the seller center. And you'll listen to the conversation. Well, maybe I should do that now. All right, where were we on my notes? I have notes. I'll give you another for instance of incompetence, okay? Total incompetence from a banking institution. almost 2. And I'll name the bank, BPI. I put, I don't want to tell you how much money I put in BPI. A lot. More than you would imagine. But anyway, so I took my money from, not all of it, but I took some money to start building the hotel from America. We have to go back, digressing back to BPI. BPI Bank just sucks, just absolute garbage. They are right across the board managerial counter people. I had a $12,000 US dollar, $12,000 credit card fraud from a BPI agent in Cebu. Okay, so we could start from there. But I had an account in BPI, and I was bringing my cargo container. The contents of cargo can 2, number 2, was already in a cargo container in New Jersey when I got back to the Philippines. So now I had to pay for it. So it was 225,000 pesos. So I had to pay for it at a certain business in Cebu, which was an honest business. I had to take those videos off YouTube because they committed fraud for a total of 81,000 pesos to me, and they ended up giving it all back with an apology. So I took those videos down. But there was another company that I dealt with that the customs broker, he's a total thief. He's just a thief. I won't mention his name because at the end of the day, it was a wash how much money he raped me for, and he did rape me, and then how much money I saved by giving him extra money to get something done that should not have been able to get done. So even though he was raping me on one end, he saved me 50,000 pesos on the other end of the deal. But he was raping me. So, and then he raped me for an additional 25,000 pesos because he did something that shouldn't be able to be done. And I won't mention what it was because I want him to keep doing that because he provided a valuable service. Even though it cost me 25,000 pesos, even though he said to me, Mike, if you give me 25,000 pesos, it will expedite this order. Otherwise, it could take weeks or months. And so it was 200,000 pesos plus 25,000 pesos for the optional, let's get this job done. Okay? Matter of fact, I got to get my hair combed. So I'm in Cebu, and I go to BPI Bank, which sucked. Their office in ICM Mall, you have to wait 3 hours sometimes. Sometimes you have to wait 3 hours sitting in the chair, or you could take a number and come back 2 or 3 hours later and see if your number has been called yet. So I have plenty of money in the bank. So I go to BPI and I go to the bank, and at the same time, at that time, the bank was right around the corner from the fort in Cebu. And the fort is where you get evaluated to get your pistol permit and psychological evaluation. And that's where we were with Daisy. We did 2 things at the same time. So I go to BPI Bank and they ask me, thank you, Dennis. Yeah, I try to keep, I'm a very, I'm fastidious. Fastidious? Very, I forgot the word, but I don't forget. My uncle was the same way. He had to have his hair combed properly at all times. I go to the BPI bank with Daisy and I put down a request for 250,000 pesos because I want money for, I need pocket change. So I get the money and we are 700 feet from the J Mall. I also took care of my immigration at the same time. I did a bunch of stuff there. So I'm 700 feet from the J Mall and I'm about 1,000 feet away from the customs broker who I have to give the money to. So I get the money, but no, the woman asks me for two forms of identification. So between my ACR card and my driver's license was my credit card, and I pulled them out at the same time, and I put them down on the counter. I didn't think nothing of it, and she just swiped up the three cards like she was a professional card player. Just swiped them off the table. And she took them in the back room. And I could see her going like this with her fingers, typing in my name and I guess my picture and my signature, because she's going to give me a lot of money. She comes back out. She puts the card. This is BPI Bank. Go ahead and tell me that you're going to report me to BPI Bank, and we'll get the video footage from that day. And you'll see. And then we'll get the credit card fraud email that I have from that day. And so she gives me back the card. It's early. It's not much long after 10 o'clock in the morning because I left Bureau of Immigration by 8 o'clock. I was out of the Bureau of Immigration. By 9 o'clock, Daisy and I had apples and oranges and snacks to eat at the hotel. By 10 o'clock, I was at the bank. I get the money. I go to the broker, the customs broker. He's supposed to be there at 10 o'clock, and I got there right around 10 o'clock. And he wasn't there. They said, have a seat. I said, well, I have a lot of stuff to do in this general area. How long is he going to be? We'll call him up, sir. I said, what do you mean you'll call him up? Did he call up and tell you he was going to be late? No, sir. All right, call him up. Sir, he's going to be on his way shortly. Well, I had to wait an hour. I wasn't happy about that. But I had to wait an hour. The guy was an hour late. An hour late is not acceptable. But I have to do business with him, so I had to accept it. But I didn't like it. So the woman in the bank gives me back my credit card, gives me 250,000 pesos. I put the money on his desk, and I told him, for this 25,000 pesos, what you said on the phone has to happen. He said, it will happen, sir. Don't worry about that. So he did fulfill that obligation. So I won't badmouth him or his company, because if he didn't do what he did, it would have cost me another 50,000 pesos and another trip to Cebu and ground time with the can. So it was worth it to give him a little extra money to grease the wheels. Okay, we're done with him. I pay him his money. He gives me a receipt. I make a video of the transaction. We're going to go now get a cargo can that's supposed to be an A grade. We're supposed to pay 60,000 pesos for an A grade cargo can. That means a number 1 grade. Good seal on the door, minimal dents, if any at all, and a relatively new expiration date on the container, because they only sell containers that have expiration dates. So container might be good for 11 years, and on the 11th year, they have to sell the container. They can't use it for shipping anymore, even if it looks brand new, or they could get it recertified, but they don't do that. They sell them. So we get into a 12-passenger van. He brings me to the cargo container port in Cebu near the Cube Mall, the the Illuminati Mall, I call it, down on the south end, on the west end of Cebu, west of the city. And he brings me there, and we're supposed to the cargo can is supposed to be on the deck, on the ground, but it's not. It's up, uh, one level up. So I can't see in the cargo can, right? Well, there's a crane in right there, and the crane got a hook on it, but it's a big hook now. It's not like not a little hook. It's the hook is about that big. So I said to the lot manager, I said, well, just start the crane up and put hook, boom me up, swing me up, fly me up to the second floor. No, sir, I can't do that. I said, what do you mean you can't do that? You're a crane operator. No, sir, I can't do that. I said, well, I could do it for you. You want me to get in there and swing the hook around and put you in there so you could look for me? No, sir. So I have to buy this cargo can unseen, and I know it's not an A container because the door is smashed up. The side of the container that I couldn't see from the outside, but from the inside has a huge dent in it. And the roof has two places where the roof was cut out altogether and welded back. Turns out that they were properly done, and I don't think the roof leaks. But the seal on the door leaks because the door was smashed, and it's an old container, and the seal had rust between the seal and the door jamb. So it leaks. It's a B minus or a C plus container. They're supposed to be 45,000 pesos, but I'm in that van. I need that container that day because my cargo container is coming from America, and I don't want to have to come back. And it's the only cargo container that was available for 2 months. I looked for one in Bohol, which is why I had to go to Cebu, and the customs broker had to end up buying one for me because there weren't any used containers in Bohol of any grade. It would have been worth 100,000 pesos to not go to Cebu and buy an A grade. But I buy A grades all the time. That's what I buy. But this was a B minus or a C plus grade. And it wasn't 65,000 pesos, it was 85,000 pesos. And I had to pay right there. So now I paid for it right there. I gave the guy the money in the van. So now they're charging me 20,000 pesos more, $400 more. Just happens to be there's 4 people in the van besides me and Daisy, or 3 people in the van and one lot manager. So they divvied up that $400 between the 4 of them, and they scammed me. They gave me a 65,000 peso can for 85,000 pesos. Standard operating procedure, long nose tax, hilaw cano, which means new cano to the Philippines, stupid cano, which means hilaw cano, which means new to the Philippines. You're at their beck and call. You're at their disposal. And you're dealing with idiots or people that are just professional scammers. Now, I know this guy is screwing me, but it's cheaper for me to just give him the money. But he's definitely screwing me. I had a way to get even with him at the end of the day. But like I said, at the end of the day, that other 25,000 pesos saved me 50,000 pesos. So I called it a wash. This guy was a piece of crap. When I just wanted to import the equipment from China, I called his office, but I didn't tell his office who I was. So now I'm talking to his lying piece of crap son, who did the same thing to me. He left open 3 prices on an import fee, and the 3 prices for the 4 pieces of equipment, each piece could have gone up as little as $300 for the import fee, or as much as $600 for the import fee for each of the 4 pieces. Each of the 4 pieces could have been an additional $1,200 on what he quoted me as a price for the import fee, which was already at the $2,000 mark. So it could have been $3,200, or it could have been $4,400 for the import fee, not for the products. The products were $4,000. The import fee could have been $3,200 or $4,400. And this is what you got to go through. All right, so let me see if I'm done with that. I have notes here. I have notes. I won't show you the notes though, because I don't like to give away my. I have notes within notes, because I'm a note type of guy. So we did the speakerphone. We did the import. Now let me tell you what it costed me to bring the container into the Philippines. So you freaking trolls out there that are saying I'm never going to build a hotel and I don't know what I'm doing, let me tell you something. You want to know how to bring a cargo container into the Philippines, you can contact me privately. I'll give you the customs broker that I just said raped me for a lot, 25,000 pesos. And 20,000, 45,000. I'll give you his bro, because that guy's going to get the job done. You go to somebody else, went to 4 other customs broker to import this equipment from China, all turned out to be nothing burgers. Let's call them nothing burgers, zeros. One had no broker license because it had expired that day, apparently that day. They never looked at it. It'll take a month for them to get their broker's license. One's broker's license was going to expire shortly, within a week, so they couldn't do the deal. The third broker couldn't do the deal, just never gave me a reason. And the fourth broker was the fraud that scammed me for 25,000 and 20,000 pesos. It was his son. So now I'm on the phone with his son, and his son doesn't know that I'm the guy his father screwed 3 years ago. And I said to the son, well, you got to give me a firm price of what it's going to cost to get the item from the port of Cebu to the customs house, and the price from the customs house back to the port of Cebu. I cannot do that, son. You have to trust me. I said, trust you? Trust you? Trust your company? Are you freaking serious? Ask your father how he screwed me last time. And with that, he mentioned my name to the father because they were having breakfast. I was on the phone with him. And his father said something in Visaya. And the son said, well, you know, sir, we don't do business like that. I'm going, yes, you did. Your father did it. Now you're doing it to me. All recorded in a live stream, by the way. So they're all thieves, every customs broker. That's why I won't deal with a customs broker again. That's why I'm trying to buy this through Lazada. And now I have to deal with a shipper, which is as bad as the customs broker because he's an idiot. At least the customs broker charged me an extra 45,000 pesos and got the job done. The shipper is just wasting my time up until this point. So right now I got to go get the, I'm going to get the telephone number. And there is something else I want to talk about. There is no Better Business Bureau in the Philippines. Doesn't exist. You're not going to, and if there was one and you started talking English to them, you're going to get, yes, sir. You're going to get, yes, sir, we heard you, but your words mean nothing to us. That's what you're going to get. Customer service number. I have a Lazada number. I have a shipper. I have 2 numbers from the shipper that they don't answer. I have a secondary number from the shipper that they don't answer. And where is my okay, so I have a seller center number now. Okay, so I'm going to call up this seller center number and tell them what's going on. I'm going to have to put you on mute when I give out the order number, and then I'll turn it right back on. So you might disappear for if they answer the phone. That's another thing. Getting somebody to answer the phone. It's busy. Getting somebody to answer the phone in the Philippines, easily you could call up the proper number, have it ring. It'll ring 6 times, and then it goes to busy. Or if they don't want to answer the phone, somehow it rings twice and goes to busy. Or if they're on the phone, it goes to busy. So now it's ringing busy. So, and why is it ringing busy? Because they're busy. They're busy trying to straighten out orders that other people screwed up. So I'll go back to the general notes. That I have at the bottom, and I'll go over another issue. Now, this isn't really what I had planned to do today, but if I don't follow up, if you're a beta male and you're weak, and we know beta males, they are weak. They cry about everything. Now, you think I'm crying? If you listen to my live streams, I'm probably the most efficient person you'll ever hear dealing with mental midgets, is what I used to call them. I used to tell people, if it's pretty damn derogatory, to be honest with you, but I don't know that I'm going to say that. But I used to tell my men, they were so stupid, they would say thank you. Well, I had a couple of sayings, but I could tell you the ignorance is bliss, right? If I would say to my men, if ignorance was bliss, you'd be like a god among men. And they would say, well thank you, because that's how stupid some of my men were. And I would say it to regular people as well. They don't care about your time at all. So here's another one that I got right here. They will say anything to get your money, even if it's not true. And it's an outright blatant lie. So I leave BQ Mall last Monday that just passed, 5-6 days ago. I leave BQ Mall. The girls that are gonna go cut my hair. The girls that are gonna go cut my hair. They gave me directions in Versailles, exact where they live in Versailles. Except that the directions were exact, but then you would have to know what to do when you got to the exact address, because the exact address was in a house next to an alley, and the alley went downhill like on a 45-degree angle for 100 feet, and then you had to make a right for another 100 feet, and then you had to walk through like a 6-foot wide corridor for another 40 or 50 feet, and then you got to their house. And then there were houses on left and right side. Well, which house is it? So the tricycle driver, I know it's a 15 peso ride. I know it's a 15 peso ride. The girls told me it's a 15 peso ride from the BQ Mall. So when I gave the tricycle driver, I showed him the address in the book. I said, let me explain this to you. How do you know where this address is? No, sir. Okay, he doesn't know. So the guard at the BQ Mall looked at the address. He says, I know where this is. So he told the tricycle driver how to get to that address, because the address was a landmark. You go by landmarks in the Philippines. There's no numbers on the doors. Morons. But anyway, the address is, you go to this landmark and you're 2 doors away, but doesn't say left or right. They forgot that. Or I don't know how you're supposed to know. There's no number on it. It's a dirt road. It's an alley. It would be the kind of alley that you wouldn't walk down, that's for sure. It's on a 35 to 40-degree incline, and it's all gravel and rock. I mean, why would you want to walk down there to explore? You don't even know where you are. Now, I know I'm in a good part of the city, but I mean, you wouldn't go down that alley to look for a house. So the phone number that I had, I texted, but they didn't answer me back. But I had another phone number. And when I got to the driver said, yes, we can go there. So the driver drops me off on the corner of the Landmark. And he says to me, no, wait, we're in front of BQ Mall. You want to see how you get raped here? I'll tell you how you get. We're in front of the BQ Mall. And Big Jack. Jack is, me and Jack had a nice conversation this morning, or last night at 3 o'clock in the morning. Jack's a cool guy. And he's got a cat now. So now he has to buy cat food for the next 16 years. Yay to the cat food industry. So the driver tells me, I said, how many pesos to get from BQ Mall to this place? The girls told me 15 pesos, 20 maximum. The driver says 100. So I says, I'll get the hell out of here, 100. I'll give you 15 pesos. He goes, no, not 15, 30. I says, okay, I'll give you 30 pesos if you bring me to the house and we get the girls outside to come and meet me in the street, because no one knows where this is. So I already know I'm going to have a problem finding this house, because it's a Landmark and 2 doors down, not right or left, not across the street. So the tricycle driver brings me to the Landmark. Now I know that's right, because the Landmark had a signage on it. So I know I'm in the general area. So he says, okay, sir, please pay me. I said, no, I'll give you 20 pesos. And when the girls come out, when we find the house, I'll give you the other 10 pesos. Because he has to bring me to the house. Nobody else is around anywhere to talk to anybody. He's the one that's going to have to ask for these directions to the house in Versailles, because I can't read Versailles and there's nobody on the street at all. So we start walking around and asking people in his language where this place is. No one knows where this place is. Well, he's going, sir, can you pay me? I said, I'll pay you when the girls get here. I says, I texted them, no one's coming back. So there was a business open down the block, a fruit and vegetable business. And they saw me with the tricycle driver. They were watching the whole time. So I walked up and I said, good morning. And it was like the friendliest people you ever want to meet. They said, sir, are you lost? I said, yes. Do you have any phone numbers we can call for you? I said, yes. And I had a phone number that was on the next page that I had forgotten about. And they called that number, and within about 90 seconds, maybe a minute, the phone was answered, and the girl said they're on their way. So when they came, I gave the driver the other 10 pesos. We said goodbye. No hard feelings. And now he knows where that address is, right? I taught him something. So the people that made the call, I gave them 10 pesos. They didn't want to take the money. It turns out they were one of the biggest suppliers of fruit and vegetables in Cebu. So 10 pesos to them was nothing, but it was a way of me saying thank you. But the driver said, I'm going to bring you to that address, and he couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. So why should I pay him for something he couldn't do? I gave him the 20 pesos that it would be to bring me to the Landmark, but he didn't fulfill his obligation. He wasn't upset. He was upset that he took me on the ride because he couldn't fulfill his obligation. I said to him, when the girls come out, I'll give you 30 pesos. Can you give me 20 pesos. Yes, I'll give you 20 pesos now. You can leave if you want, or wait till the girls come out and get the other 10 pesos. Now I'm calling seller center, what, five times now? They're not answering the phone. Lazada has a bad habit of not answering the phone. And they have a worse habit now. Apparently, seller center is very busy dealing with orders that never got delivered. And now I'm in the house waiting for Seller Center to open up because I started this live stream and I had already called Seller Center, I don't know, 10 times. They're not answering the phone. So I'll check my mail. All right, so let me. Oh, yeah. I'm looking in. You guys are a trip, man, with all that theory. You guys have, right now, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages of theory, you guys. Based on your heartstrings. Oh my God, you guys are. I don't know what I got myself into. Don't go in the back if you don't show us. Jack, June still wants to meet you. He has that special place he wants to explode your volcano. You know that. You know that. Let me go to my mail. The teapot position. That doesn't sound it. Oh, somebody's cooking bacon. Oh my God. Oh, what, that smells good. I'm going to have to let you guys go. I'm going to end this live stream and then I'm going to go out in the backyard and set some stuff up. Or, ooh, today's the 23rd. I thought yesterday was Wednesday or Thursday. Yesterday was Friday. Today is Saturday. That happens every Friday. Now I have a lot of stuff to do in the backyard. I got to get those coffee cans. I mean the tomato juice cans. Yeah, I know, but this stream is just about beta males. We're going to go back into my alpha male where I run around the yard and do different things. I'm going to bring it outside now. Again, it's busy. I'll do, and I get a quotation yesterday from Tiffany. If you remember Tiffany, she's the girl that was going to ship the stuff from China, but didn't know how much the shipping cost. Your items are now discounted, sir. They cut the price of the items down 20%. But the shipping from customs in the Philippines can't get a price, so what's the point? Anyway, she tried. But so she thinks that 20% of $4,000, which is $800, is going to offset a $1,200 to $2,400 increase in price at the end of the day from that piece of shit. I mean, the shipper, from the shipper, from the customs broker, excuse me, that the customs broker had an option to charge me $1,200 or $2,400. And what you do is you consign the order over to the customs broker. So it's his order. So if you don't pay, he keeps the items. He pays customs and import fees, and then he sells the items. So you're out to $4,000 for the items, and he can now sell those items for $4,000 and pay real customs prices, which are probably half of what he quoted me. They're a bunch of thieves, the customs brokers. Can't get. I got one more item on my list that I could talk to you about on my. Oh, Let me give you people that are just coming to the Philippines. Oh, God. That guy is, that flying circus, that is one sick bastard, man. That is one. Holy. Flying circus, I'm going to tell you something. Okay? I have a, I could do some things that you couldn't possibly imagine somebody doing and not affecting me one way or the other. But watching that guy, watching that guy make those spernips that time, where he made the spernips on the stove with the baking soda and all that crap, I will never watch another video. When I see that guy's face on your channel, I just turn it off. That is disgusting. That guy is, in my opinion, that's less than human. I don't even know where to go with that. I know that, Jack told me at 3 o'clock this morning there's probably a whole community that follow that guy. And Jack is probably right. I would not think about that because I don't know anything about that kind of. I don't know about spernips. For all I know, spernips could be a commonplace thing. I don't know. I never explored that part of the world. Okay, so I'm going to tell you one more thing. If you come to the Philippines and you're a beta male, and I was a beta male when I moved here, in regards to giving away things, I never gave money. I gave away cigarettes, candy, rum, rice, spaghetti and spaghetti sauce, and on occasion pork with the spaghetti sauce and garlic for my special friends. And then on Christmas, for the first few years, gifts for the children. Never again. Never again. Because they don't appreciate it. So if you're coming to the Philippines, this was told to me after I moved into the Stanley House in April of 2014, where I had bags and bags and bags, 5,000 pieces of candy, of all different types of candy. I was giving out candy to everybody, jeepney drivers, personnel in the stores, the locals on the beach. I always kept a few hundred pieces of candy in my purse. I call it a purse because it's like a it was a purse. It was a belt. A belt. Actually, I used to carry my gun in there. It was heavy enough to carry a gun, and it was big enough to carry a paddle holster also if I wanted to throw the paddle holster on. But I kept candy in there. So I would give away thousands of pieces of candy a month. I just gave it away. I get on the jeepney. The jeepney driver was good for 8 pieces. Everybody on the jeepney was good for 2 pieces. Everybody on the block, when I came down the block at the end of the day at 4 o'clock, everybody got 1 piece of candy, not 2. Everybody got 1. That was 85 pieces all by itself. Every time I walked down this block, they got 85 pieces of candy. You do that twice a week, that's 700 pieces of candy a month, plus whatever else. So my landlord said to me, Mike, you don't have to give these people anything. If you don't give, they won't be mad at you. But if you give, they will ask for more. And I didn't care. I just thought, well, eventually the kindness would come back. But you should understand something. You should understand, no matter how much you give, inside their head, you're giving from your heart. There is no inner mental facility in their heads that says because you gave, say, $200 worth of food to one particular family over the course of a few years, and you ask the person who you gave the food to for their children to do you a favor that's going to take a few minutes, he's going to say to you, yes, you give me 100 pesos. Even though he's only going to earn 40 pesos an hour if he has a job. He wants 100 pesos from you for two reasons. One, you are rich. By any standard that they have, you are rich. And second, you have been giving, so it's your job to give. And that's when I put my foot down between Christmas and New Year's of last year. I asked somebody to do me a favor. He wanted 100 pesos for something that would take a few minutes. He didn't do something else he promised he was going to do. And I walked outside. I gave foods, lots of foods. Probably, well, I bought 30 kilos of sauce, 30 kilos of spaghetti, 40 kilos of rice, 2 cases of rum, and 2 cartons of cigarettes. Hey, Barry J., thanks for stopping by. The great Barry Jordan is in the house. And I really like Barry Jordan. I like what he did with his channel. I know there's some guy named Ray out there that hates you. And I just disregard Ray's comments. So I have my opinion of Barry Jordan. And I see Barry Jordan as a man that's doing the best he can. And actually he has quite, if you listen to Barry Jordan, and I'm not being facetious and I'm not being sarcastic, I am telling you the truth. If you listen to Barry Jordan and you listen to the way he can start a conversation, be interrupted, go across the street, go and get cigarettes, come back and talk to somebody, and then finish that conversation right where he left off, his cognizant ability is 100%. If you listen to Barry Jordan when he is on a roll as to why a certain person is the way he is, he's 100% accurate. No one, Barry Jordan, thank you very much. For Flying Circus can respond. I think he's still here. Barry Jordan knows what's going on and has an ability to say it just differently than myself, but he's accurate to what he says. He can roll off one reason after another of why a certain person is the way he is, and I believe he's 100% accurate. Some stuff he embellishes on, but in general, his persona of what people call him does not fit what people call him, his real persona. You are never, ever, ever, ever going to get me to believe that Barry Jordan hit a child. That's never going to happen. It's not going to happen. I don't care. You show me pictures. I never looked at the pictures because I'm not interested in the pictures. That guy is a liar that said that Barry Jordan hit a kid. That, you're not going to get me to believe that happy horse shit. Okay? Now, you're not going to get me to believe that Barry Jordan does a lot of stuff that people said he did. Now, the thing about the computer and the motorcycle, I don't know anything about that. But he didn't do it to me. And if you can't read Barry Jordan from the day you meet him, then that means you're not street savvy. And if you're not street savvy, you're going to get taken advantage of. It's just that simple. And maybe he did take advantage of some people and maybe he didn't. I don't know. There could be other deals that people are telling the truth or they're lying. He didn't do it to me. He never asked me for anything. He never took anything from me. He never said anything bad about me. You guys are always trying to start crap with Barry between me and Barry. Ain't going to happen. I like Barry. And if I told you why I like Barry, I've told you in general why I like Barry. I told you, I believe you, Barry. That I don't believe that you hit a kid. You're not going to make me believe it. It's just not no matter what, inside your brain, there's a certain set of moral turpitudes that you're not going to cross those boundaries. And that's a boundary that you're not going to cross. So When if you're not street savvy, then you're going to get taken advantage of. But Barry never asked me for anything. He could have, but he didn't, because he knows that it probably wouldn't go anywhere. I'm building a hotel. The money that I have for the hotel is going to the hotel. But that's right. Jack says most people like Barry. Oh, and to digress back to why I like Barry, let me tell you something. You don't know Barry. I know about somebody like Barry. Okay, I worked on a job. Okay, I can't tell you why I met this guy, but I worked on a job in Ocean Reef in Florida. Okay. Ocean Reef is where I met the director of the CIA one on one, and he freaked out. Absolutely freaked out. Paranoid to the point of calling in security into his front yard because he didn't know what or who I was. When he found out who I was and who I knew, and I mentioned a name, I was in his house, in his foyer. He was showing me pictures of all the presidents of the United States that he had met with him in the picture. The King of England and the Queen of England, the Pope, all the popes that he had met, and on his license plate was US1. This is how I met a guy like Barry Jordan. And on his license plate, when we rolled up into the driveway, this is in Ocean Reef, Florida, it said US1 on the license plate. And there was a little guy, a little southerner from Homestead, and he was smoking pot in the car. And I said to him, put that crap out, man. Number one, we're in Ocean Reef. There's police and undercover all over the place. I put that crap out. He goes, why? I says, we're on private property. I says, yeah, and look at the license plate on that car. He goes, yeah, what's the big deal? I says, you idiot, that's Secret Service. That's the CIA. Put that crap out. So he did. Now, we were doing electrical work, and the hatch to go into his attic, and I had to do the attic work because, number one, I was the smallest guy on the job, and I was the newest guy on the job. So the hatch was inside this foyer that was about 8 feet wide and 14 feet long, and all these pictures are all over the wall. So I'm in there with the guy, and I'm waiting. I wasn't going to wait in the attic. It's hot in the attic. And I'm looking at the pictures of the Pope and the presidents, and I'm going, this guy is, I know what he was. He's Secret Service. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. And he's going, do you like my pictures? I said, yeah. And he's going, yeah. He says, I've sat down and had foods and dinners and stuff with all of these people, dignitaries, state dignitaries for England, weird countries and stuff like that. And each one had a little, where the country was. So I turned around to him and I said, do you know Joel Mealy? He backs up. He backs up like 2 steps. And he goes, you know Joel Mealy? I said, yeah, he's a personal friend of mine. Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah? But paranoid. Like this guy thought that I came to do him. I swear to God. That's how he backed up. Because Joel Mealy, this is after 9/11. And Joel Mealy had a major part of 9/11. He was a major player. And he died shortly after that. So he thought that I came to correct some sort of a problem. And he goes, how do you know Joe? I said, well, I was born, I lived across the street from him since 1960. I know his whole family. So he goes to me, what's his wife's name? I says, Josephine. And he goes, what's his daughter's name? I said, which one? And he says, both of them. So I told him both the daughter's name. And he goes, what's his sister-in-law's name? And I said, Nikki. And I'm going, and he goes, well, where's his office? So I told him where his office was. So he left the room, and he came back, and that's when the other people came into the driveway. And until they checked me out, my background, those guys stayed in the driveway or lurking around the house. So I'm in the house still. He never threw me out of the house, but because I gave him all the right answers, who Joe was. This guy, the head of the CIA, that was with all of the presidents, that was with Joel Mealy in Cuba during the Cuban Missile Crisis, which eventually we talked for, several hours while I was waiting for stuff to do in the attic. And I had lunch with him and everything. This guy was thinking that he was not going to live to pay us the contractor. He thought I was a real contractor. So the guy that I met that was like Barry Jordan, he said to me, well, what the hell went on in there? And I told him. And he didn't care about that. So, but him and I went on another job together, and the contractor, the general contractor to the other job was a snake. Oh, what a snake this guy was. Oh, God, he was screwing everybody. And that's how I met the other guy that was like Barry Jordan. And he was a righteous dude, man. He was a righteous dude. I would not want to mess with somebody from Alabama. They are pleasant. They are kind. They are friendly. They greet you in the morning with a hello and a smile, but what's on their mind could be something else altogether. So you have no idea. It's not like a New York attitude when somebody's pissed off at you. They let you know they're pissed off. No. Somebody from Alabama is going to walk up to you in the morning and smile at you and say good morning. And then the stuff hits the fan. And you go, well, why were you so nice to that guy? He goes, I didn't want to ruin his day. Oh, you are a trip, dude. You are a trip. So messing with Barry Jordan would not be something I would do. And not only that, Barry Jordan, to me, appears to be doing the best he can. He's doing the best he can. He doesn't lie about where the money goes. He doesn't care that he's going to drink up money if you send it to him. He's telling you, I'm going to party with this money. He never took money for funds for dog biscuits or funds to move to Brazil. Remember that scam that was going on? Somebody wanted to move to Brazil. He wanted airline ticket money. Barry never did anything like that. Well, maybe he did, but I don't have any proof of that. But he never did it to anybody I know. And unless somebody I know says it happened, then I'm not going to believe it. I'm not going to get in touch with customer seller service either. This is not going to happen. I'm going to have to write them a letter. So don't come to my channel. Barry Jordan has a plan. Did you see that girl he was with last night? She was quite the looker, Barry. I give you 2 thumbs up on that. She was a looker. I'm going to myself, yeah, Barry could, and that's another thing about Barry. He could probably name every scam that somebody on YouTube did. He could probably name it because he has inside his head. He's really intelligent inside there. When he is straight, no alcohol, and cognizant of his surroundings, 100%. He knows what's going on, and he could probably name every scam a certain particular blogger did. I would trust Barry 1,000 times. There he goes. The Joy scam, the PA trucker scam, the PA trucker scam. Let's go to the PA trucker scam. Let's go to the PA trucker scam. Barry knows what it is. I'll run it by you. That was the first one that I know of. That's right, Flying Circus. That was the first one because he wasn't sure where he wanted to go, to the Philippines or Brazil. The PA Trucker scam. PA Trucker, in a synopsis of the PA Trucker scam. PA Trucker sends Nika $50 through the ultimate fraud. The ultimate fraud takes the money. PA Truck, I think he sent $75, but it was 50 or 75. The ultimate fraud got mad at Nika, didn't give her the money, and then he took half that money and bought some poor man. That's right. He bought some poor man a 2-inch foam mattress which costs about 400 pesos, and he said a pillow. The pillow might cost 200 pesos. So he sent 600 pesos of 2,500 pesos that he pocketed, and then he kept the rest. That's right. He kept the rest. He wasn't his money, and then he claims to be a nice guy, and I do charitable things that you don't hear about, and then he went through that whole story of how he bought a guy a 400 peso mattress and a 200 peso pillow with somebody else's money that he refused to give back to PA Trucker. The guy is a fraud from the get-go. I remember that. Barry remembers it. Flying Circus certainly remembers it. DQ remembers it. We all remember it. Fraud. You have committed fraud hell of a lot more times than you accuse Barry of committing fraud. And you've probably done this your whole life. The fact that you went into a bar and got charged 23,000 pesos for a bar fine and then claimed that you got robbed, that you didn't know what you were doing. How do you know that you're not paying for what your services rendered in the bar? How do you not know that? I have never been in a bar where there's a bar fine. I don't even know what a bar fine was. I was in the Philippines 2 or 3 years before I found out what a bar fine was, because that I don't go in bars. So you lied about that. So you defrauded your public, telling them if it was 50. Okay, 50 it was. I think you're right. You defrauded your public by lying to them. Barry remembers all of that stuff. And I don't know that. See, I think it was a Ladyboy bar. He never really clarified that, or I don't remember the clarification. But the guy is a strange. Strange is different than weird, dude. Weird is godlike. Strange is strange. And you are one strange dude. You've had funds to feed stray dogs with fleas and mange. You've had a fund to get you to Brazil. You've had a fund for your so-called wife or girlfriend at the time, which depends on what she was. On any given day, she could have been anybody. You had a fund for her birthday just this past Christmas. You had a fraudulent fund for her birthday party. You had another fund. You had another fund for you had a super chat fund. You have another fund now for lawyers, and you yourself said that the police are going to take care of me and Barry. You yourself said that the cyber crimes and the NBI are going to take care of me and Barry. Well, they don't charge money. What do you need a lawyer for? Because it's a fraudulent fund. The idiot believes that some stranger on his channel is going to start a fund and send him money. Nobody's sending that guy any money. And then he lies about having money when he doesn't have money. There's no way you could prove to me he has money. He's never shown it. Oh, yeah, one day he showed a couple 20,000 pesos on the bed. 20,000 pesos? That wouldn't get me through a day of food shopping and Build-A-Wear shopping. Those two are going to chew up 20,000 pesos. When I go to the city and have breakfast on Friday, That doesn't get me through my day, 20,000 pesos. That's chump change. And telling people that you could pick your teeth with 500,000 pesos, that's a lie. Could I show you this piece of paper here with my bank balance on it after I bought this rebar machine? It's got a lot more than 20,000 pesos in that bank. So you're a fraud right from the get-go. Everybody knows this. You went off YouTube. I got to get off YouTube on my terms. You're not getting off YouTube on your terms at all. The great Barry Jordan kicked you to the curb in the YouTube community. The great Barry Jordan kicked you to the curb. And then you lied. You lied again. You said your channel was taken down. You lied. Barry Jordan said he got you 2 strikes. That means 90 days in the doghouse. You lied and said your channel is gone. You've done this before when you got 2 strikes. You just wait 90 days and you come back with the same channel. I have videos of your original channel from 4 years ago, and the links to the videos still work. So either you still have those videos or you're locked out of your channel because you're stupid. But I don't believe your channel is gone. I believe your channel is just shut down and you've taken everything off your channel because 2 strikes, you're down for 90 days, and 3 strikes, you're out. So you lied about having your channel taken down. I don't believe that. You lie about everything. And now you're going to go to the cybercrimes and say, Fazio, he called me a liar. Well, you are a liar. And the fact that you said Fazio stands by the door of his house naked and gives children candy, you are in a world of trouble for that. You just don't know it. But when you get back to the Philippines, there's going to be 4 agencies from 3 different people that want to talk to you. So prepare yourself for a lot of traveling and whatever small amount of money. And you lied about that too. You lie about everything. If you want to know the truth, Barry probably could give you more truth about the fraud than the fraud will ever put out or post out. I'm going off YouTube on my terms. No, you're not. The great Barry Jordan sent those videos to everybody you knew, and somebody that you knew said, get off of YouTube or else. Somebody that you love, somebody that you cry to every night. I miss you. I love you. I miss you so much. Please don't leave me. That's the guy who claims to be a real man. He's not a real man. He's a beta minus. See, a Charlie plus man at best. At best. He has an IQ. We'll start him off at 65. And for all the lies, half-truths, deceits, and fraudulent funds, we bring him down to a 32. A 32 is as low as you can go and still wake up and eat and use the bathroom facilities. This guy's a total fraud. He didn't go off YouTube because he's going off on his accord. He's going off YouTube because the great Barry Jordan shut him down by sending the people the videos that he passed out. And then on top of that, the great Barry Jordan got Jimmy Jeniston to at least agree to think about having a certain man arrested for sleeping with his wife. And you don't want that to happen because you know that the great Barry Jordan getting Jimmy Jeniston involved is more than you can handle in a court of law because it has nothing to do with videos. It has nothing to do with facial recognition. It has nothing to do with audio uploads. It has nothing to do with anything, YouTube. It has to do with you sleeping with another man's legal wife. And that you can't bypass. The great Barry Jordan has done that to you. The great Barry Jordan. Not Barry Jordan. Not Meet Barry J. The great Barry Jordan. That's why you're off YouTube. Because the great Barry Jordan kicked you to the curb. I got to look at my comments now. That's how people should be referring to Barry Jordan. The great Barry Jordan. Nothing less. I don't know. My window is froze up. Wonderful. The great Barry Jordan came in and froze up my window. Ah, there it is. Okay. The great Barry Jordan says, Jimmy said he will file charges for adultery when he comes back. This is why the fraud is off YouTube. You can't fight Jimmy Jeniston. And the great Barry Jordan was the one who did this. All the people on YouTube, all the liars and the half-truth sayers and the people that do this for drama couldn't do what the great Barry Jordan could do. We need to get a picture of you, Barry. Maybe put your favorite shirt like this, showing the arms and the forearms with the tattoos, and I'll post it as the great Barry Jordan on my community page, or you could post it. That's what we need. We need more pictures and more links to Barry Jordan's channel, because the great Barry Jordan did what nobody else could do. And if Jimmy files charges against the fraud, it's all over. It's all over. It doesn't matter what the fraud said. Doesn't matter what frauds took place. It doesn't matter about anything. Damn it. I just messed up my hair. I got a cowlick right there. Since I was in kindergarten, I've always had the same cowlick. I got it now. Yeah, the great Barry Jordan, he did what no other YouTuber could do, man. That's why I'm never going to say anything bad about the great Barry Jordan. Forget that. Take that to your cybercrimes officer. And what happened to all your bravado that, they're going to arrest? Maybe they will arrest Barry Jordan. I would venture to say that Barry Jordan could do a fundraising for his defense if he needed one. I would venture to say the great Barry Jordan could get enough money to pay a lawyer, where you couldn't get enough money to pay attention. And what did you do last March, April, right around there, of 2020? Where did you take money from that you weren't supposed to take the money from? We have all the records. Can you go into a government facility and admit of what you did last March or April and where you took the money from and make it right? No, you can't. You can't. Escrow is escrow, dude. You cannot take escrow out of an escrow account. It's an interest-bearing account. And we know what you did. We know you cry every night begging someone to forgive you for all your sins. We know that. We have operatives. We have operatives with recordings. Don't blame me for going to different agencies about you. I only can bring what you did to yourself back to you to eventually hope that you just get thrown out of the country because you have just caused so many people pain and suffering and anguish and angst. You're a total loser. I think Flying Circus has a video with the name Loser. I haven't seen it yet, but I think there's a video with the word loser in it. You are a loser. You're the ultimate loser. Your time to shine in the sun has come and gone. And you make fun of me. You make fun of me. I'm the ultimate alpha male, and you're the ultimate loser. You're a liar. You're a fraud. You're a cheat. You're a con artist. You are everything that no normal human would want to be. You're kind of like, and who did you back for president? Mr. Joe Biden. That's how much of a loser you are, saying that nobody could be worse than Trump. And look what Biden has done to the country. You're a loser, dude. Get it through your head. And the great Barry Jordan is 100 times the man you'll ever be. And if Barry Jordan ever decides to stop drinking and stop smoking, that would be a great thing. But he doesn't have to. He's still 1,000 times the man you'll ever hope to be. And your time to be a man has come and gone. You're a loser. You'll never. You went off. Go off YouTube on my accord. You liar. You went off YouTube because the great Barry Jordan sent you on your way, kicked you to the curb. I'm not going to get through to this service. Operatives matter. They do. If he was going to touch you, I think that it would have happened already. I think you're right about that. I hope you are. I don't know. I really don't know what they did to PV in Manila. I never watched him that much. I know they picked him up, but they didn't arrest him, and he was an overstayer. I think they just let him go home. That's what I think. I gotta look at my mail. I gotta really get out of here. All right, I'm gonna end this live stream. It's 2 hours. You know how I hate to go over 9 hours, and this one's already 2, looking like it's gonna go to 9. I need to get outside. I need to get. I have to get up on the roof. Yeah? Not for me. I need to get up on the roof and move 3 sheets of plywood, 4 sheets of plywood, and prep the jet ski to fly. And also prep a spot for the rebar bender down low. So I'm going to start down low, opening up coffee cans, painting the coffee cans, and then putting ropes on the coffee cans so I have 1 gallon parts buckets for when I start building, because eventually, oh God, I have, I'm going to need 5 gallon, well, like this size bucket is even as good as a 5 gallon bucket. That's a 16-liter bucket of isometric paint. Now, that stuff's expensive, too. That's $66 for a bucket. I've gone through 3 of them in the last few months. So, yeah, I'm broke, right? I'm broke. Yeah, I just, anyway. So, that's another thing the fraud keeps saying. He's broke. You don't have it. I spend more money on materials than you spend a month. Now, you may have a mortgage and all of that crap, but I spend more money on things that I need to build the hotel than you do on food and your other rent in the Philippines. You're a fraud, dude. Get it through your head. If you come back to YouTube, no one's going to greet you back. That clown that said he was going to start a fund for your lawyers, that was a troll, you idiot. You were trolled again. Great Barry Jordan. We got to get posters made up for the great Barry Jordan. Or get like a Superman costume and put Barry Jordan's face on top of a Superman costume. Flying Circus could do something like that. And I'll post it as a thumbnail on a live stream. Anyway, I'm going to go do those 1 gallon cans. I don't think, I can't even tell if I have an order because I can't shut this phone down. You know, for what I paid for this phone, you should be able to put the live stream on hold and go to the phone to check your messages, but you can't. Now, And the messages that come in while you're on live stream, they appear on the phone for about 1.5 seconds. So if I just turned away like that, the message would flash on and off. I got to go. Thanks for watching, Barry. Thanks for stopping by. We're going to get you those Superman bodybuilding pictures. That girl that you were with last night, she was a freaking 9 out of 10, man. She was hot. Good luck. Have fun with that. And you could tell she wanted to get away from that restaurant. She walked up to Barry and snuggled up next to him and was going la da 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 da. Barry looked at it. Barry goes, "I gotta go. Take care of business. Bye." And shut the live stream down in less than 30 seconds. Yeah, baby. That girl was cute. And also, she was wanting to get out of there and take care of business as much as Barry wanted to take care of business. Yeah, man. 2 thumbs up. Elmping Permy, take care from Mr. Congeniality himself in the Philippines. And I am the nicest guy I know. Ask me. I'll tell you. Yeah, he could use my profile anytime he wants. Great show, Mickey Mason. See ya. Meet Barry J. She took the anaconda. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Bye. Have a great day, John Boone. Got to go. I really do got to go. I got to get outside. I got to get work done. Amping, which means take care always, from the Philippines. And in about 45 minutes, I'll have a live alpha male show going on outside. Bye-bye for now. Maybe less. I got to paint the anvil, get the buckets, move the plywood, get the jet ski ready to fly, move a brand. I got a lot of stuff to do, baby. And I don't have a lot of time to do it. And move the house. Bye-bye for now. Amping, which means take care always, from Michael Fazio in the Philippines, baby.